From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
The Democratic candidate for governor says Indiana is not doing enough to protect our most vulnerable from COVID-19. Good evening, I'm Amanda Starantino. 60% of the state's COVID-19 deaths have happened in long-term care facilities. WRTV Investigates has been tracking concerns in nursing homes since the beginning of the pandemic. Every day, about 27 nursing home residents test positive for COVID-19, and every week, about 24 die from the virus. While the state tested nearly all nursing home staff in June and August, Indiana has not tested all long-term care residents. Dr. Woody Myers is running for governor and says more widespread and frequent testing of residents is needed to curb future outbreaks.
It upsets me and makes me angry that we didn't respond better. So what should we do right now? Our testing resources should really be concentrated in places where the virus is most prevalent. And we know that our nursing home patients are at most risk, and so they should get additional testing resources.
The federal government is sending testing kits to long-term care facilities throughout Indiana. Indiana nursing homes have received 200 antigen tests that will allow for quick results. Governor Holcomb's campaign says, though every step of this global pandemic, Governor Holcomb has prioritized the health of Hoosiers, including those who call long-term care facilities home, their families, and our health care workers. While Woody advocates for more bureaucracy, Governor Holcomb continues to provide the necessary support and resources to help stem the impact of this pandemic on our vulnerable communities. The state health department reports 17 more deaths from the coronavirus. 3,127 Hoosiers have now died from COVID-19. More than 97,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. Nearly 1.5 million people have been tested in Indiana. Some Indiana University students are not happy that they may soon have to find a new place to live. IU is encouraging all students living in Greek houses on the Bloomington campus to move out because COVID-19 is spreading from member to member fast. So far, they have quarantined students in 30 houses. Riley Sample is one of them. She decided to move out of her sorority's house and get an apartment. She is spending the rest of her time in quarantine with her family.
Expected this. I gave it 2 weeks when she left, and I think she thought I was joking. I was not. And when you stick kids together, 80 or 100 kids in a house, there was just no way that this was going to end up any other way.
To my college peers, I think this just goes to show that this is serious and that we have to take this seriously or we're not going to be on campus at all.
IU administrators say the positive test rate in some Greek houses is above 50%. Around 2,600 students live in the Greek houses. The university cannot order them to shut down because the houses are all privately owned. IU's Interfraternity Council is blasting the recommendation. It issued a statement that says it does not agree with the irrational and dangerous recommendations set forth by IU. The statement also says our members have done everything they have been asked, including attending an hour-and-a-half call with the IU administration, where the institution purposefully concealed their plans. This week, Penn State University released information showing a third of the athletes at the school who tested positive for COVID-19 may have myocarditis. That's an inflammation of the heart muscle. It could lead to lifelong complications or even death. We asked a local cardiologist about the symptoms and what you should do if you have them.
Chest pain, fever, trouble breathing. If you have that ever, definitely if you have had COVID recently and you're experiencing those things, then yeah, going to the doctor to be evaluated would be important.
Myocarditis is not more prevalent among athletes. It can happen to anyone, especially COVID-19 patients, since the virus is known to cause inflammation throughout the body. As we head into the Labor Day weekend, a reminder from Indiana health officials, our state saw a spike in COVID-19 cases after both Memorial Day and 4th of July weekend. The state health department says that was mostly due to large gatherings and people not social distancing. Labor Day is not as big of a travel weekend this year, but Indiana's health commissioner is warning people to be safe if they get together with friends or family.
What this shows us is that COVID can spread quickly in large gatherings, especially when people aren't staying 6 feet apart and wearing masks. Please pay attention to that as you make your plans for Labor Day weekend. We saw a surge in patients after Memorial Day and our July 4th gatherings. I don't want to see that surge after Labor Day. Make this weekend a safe one, Hoosiers.
Dr. Bach says if you absolutely need to get out of the house for the holiday, try doing something outside that allows you to remain socially distant from others. Kyle, a beautiful night out tonight.
Yeah, and you're going to be able to spend some time outdoors this weekend. You can see the beautiful sunset we're getting ready for here, and that sun reflecting off the White River. Our temperature now at 74. Winds that have been a little breezy, they're starting to come down just a little bit out of the northwest, around 10 miles per hour. But that northwest flow behind the cold front we had last night, it's bringing temperatures about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than this time yesterday, and that does put much of central Indiana in the 70s. 74 right now in Greencastle, Tipton at 73. Same for you in Columbus. Area of high pressure, that's building in to start off the holiday weekend, and that means we're going to keep our weather fairly quiet here, especially as we go into tonight. Any clouds that we have out there will fade away. Our temperatures will start to cool off a little bit. We're already in the middle 60s by 10 o'clock this evening, and those rain chances going to be fairly low until we get into next week. More on that in just a few minutes.
This weekend, the community has a chance to memorialize fallen law enforcement officers in Indiana and make sure their survivors know they are not forgotten. The 19th annual Cops Cycling for Survivors bicycle ride was originally scheduled for July, but was postponed to September due to the pandemic. In a typical year, active and retired officers, along with the survivors of fallen law enforcement officers, bike 1,000 miles across Indiana over the course of 13 days. But this year, it will take place in one day. This Saturday in 2019, there were 2 line-of-duty deaths in Indiana. Chief David Hewitt of the Rising Sun Police Department and Trooper Peter Bo-Stefan with Indiana State Police. We talked with the lieutenant at the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy about why he takes part in this event.
Well, one of my best friends was a police officer in Texas who was killed in the line of duty. So I've been directly affected, and I know what the survivors go through. It's one of those things that there's an outpouring of public support whenever an officer is killed, but it's just human nature that dies out. But the survivors are left with a huge hole in their hearts for the rest of their lives. So we want to make sure that that hole in some small way is filled.
The event will start at 8:30 a.m. this Saturday at the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy in Plainfield. Families are encouraged to come out for any amount of time up until 5 o'clock to ride on the emergency vehicle operations track. Money raised goes to help memorialize officers killed in the line of duty and help surviving family members and co-workers of those officers. Denials and accusations, the war of words gears up between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. The latest from the campaign trail coming up next.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
Early voting for the 2020 elections kicked off today in North Carolina. Residents there are the first voters in the nation to get their mail-in ballots for the November election. That comes as President Trump and Joe Biden take shots at each other on the campaign trail. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington with the latest.
In a campaign speech meant to address the U.S. economy, former Vice President Joe Biden starting instead with a fiery response to explosive new allegations in Atlantic magazine. The report alleging President Trump repeatedly disparaged U.S. soldiers killed and injured in combat. Biden referring to his late son, Beau, who died from cancer but served in the military.
He wasn't a sucker. The servicemen and women he served with, particularly those who did not come home, were not losers.
The Atlantic report cites 4 anonymous people with firsthand knowledge of the allegations, but ABC News has not independently confirmed any of the details. The president and his campaign outraged.
It's a fake story, and it's a disgrace that they're allowed to do it.
The topic likely to continue to be part of the discussion on the campaign trail. Just 2 months until Election Day, eligible voters in North Carolina are the first in the nation to be getting absentee ballots. A reminder that the political season kicks into high gear after Labor Day weekend. Just hours after the August jobs report Friday, Biden on the attack.
We're less than halfway back to where we were, with 11.5 million Americans not getting their jobs back.
The Labor Department reporting the U.S. added 1.4 million jobs in August, about what was expected. but the unemployment rate dropped below 10% for the first time in months.
That is many, many months ahead of schedule. They said you won't break 10% at least until next year sometime.
Social unrest continues to be a hotly debated topic between the candidates. A new ABC News Ipsos poll showing a majority of Americans say the president's law and order rhetoric around the protest is making matters worse.
Anarchists, they're agitators, they're looters.
At a rally in Pennsylvania, the president openly mocking his political rival Biden for wearing a mask.
Did you ever see a man that likes a mask as much as him?
And wearing a mask. It's not too much to ask.
And in just 14 days, voters in Minnesota will be the first to head to the polls for early in-person voting. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
Enjoying some very comfortable temperatures here as we wrap up the week, but you notice the warmer air is starting to build off to the west. We'll talk about the return of a summer weather pattern for the holiday weekend. You're watching WRTV News at 7.
Security lines and close human interaction at airports could one day be a thing of the past. With the travel industry determined to get people flying again, experts tell Amanda Brandeis that the motivation to innovate is in overdrive, and for once it might be passengers who feel some comfort.
Airports have a way of fueling anxiety. One misstep can send even the most seasoned travelers into new heights of annoyance. Could it ever be an experience we actually look forward to?
No idea is too crazy, right?
Justin Urbacci is CEO of Los Angeles World Airports. The innovations that land in your airport are usually tested here at LAX first.
We're using this as a platform to help push through a lot of the things that we already knew we wanted to push through, but there wasn't the interest or the buy-in from government agencies or the industry.
Now the industry is hearing customer complaints loud and clear, looking to revolutionize the airport experience.
The goal for us is to allow people to come through the airport and not have to see anyone and be able to serve themselves throughout their whole process.
The first leg of your airport journey could look something like this. A touchless kiosk you can operate with your smartphone to check in.
And then I'm going to hit send.
Checking luggage, this self-service system takes your bags without the need for an agent.
You know, a lot of things that are standard today seem crazy when we first heard about them.
On to security, long lines heading to a TSA agent could also go away. Instead, passengers could be screened with biometric facial recognition technology. It's already a reality at Dubai's International Smart Tunnel, which the government says gets travelers through passport control in 15 seconds.
All of the surveys that we've done, people are very willing to consent to give up their identity aspects to get through the process faster.
And carry-on bags could be screened with remotely operated X-ray machines. While a completely self-service experience is likely several years away, changes are being implemented now to improve TSA screenings.
We have new technology that has been rolled out at dozens of airports across the country that allows the traveler to insert their ID or to scan their own passport.
Lori Danker says the agency is looking at innovations being used around the world.
You can't think that we're going to be able to recover from an unprecedented situation by using old methods and means. We have to change.
In Los Angeles, I'm Amanda Brandeis reporting.
You can certainly talk about COVID-19 these days, but that doesn't mean you can have it written on your license plate. That's just one of the personalized license plate requests denied this year by the Indiana BMV. There were 318 total. We have a few for you on the screen. You can see more by clicking on this story at WRTV.com. The rejected plate ideas range from widely profane to sexually explicit to politically motivated to complete gibberish. The BMV can refuse a personal license plate if it contains a combination of letters or numbers that carries a meaning it feels is offensive to good taste and decency. And Kyle, I was looking at some of these and they are really funny, so you should go check it out online.
Yeah, the XYZ, they have a tendency of falling asleep at the wheel. I don't know.
Maybe.
You had one what?
Mine in high school was "I'll skate for you."
Hey, that's a good one. And it was accepted.
Yes.
All right, well, we are a little less than an hour away away from sunset here, you can see that sun is shining brightly on the DePaul campus. We got temperatures in the lower to middle 70s right now at 76 in Bloomington, 74 Kokomo and Indianapolis. There's that northwest wind and flow here, bringing in the less humid and more comfortable air. Again, around 10 miles per hour. As we go into the day tomorrow, it starts off pretty calm, but into the afternoon hours, once again, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. It's not going to be crazy for us, but we notice that wind's going to turn around out of the southwest, bringing in some warmer temperatures. We start off, though, a little cool for this time of year. 53 degrees in Kokomo is where you'll be Saturday morning, 52 in Logansport and Shelbyville, right around 50 in the Richmond area, 55 downtown, and lower 50s into Bedford and Seymour. But temperatures are going to warm up pretty quickly here because we're going to keep that sunshine going for our Saturday. 75 degrees here in the middle of the day. Afternoon temperatures back into the lower 80s, so a couple degrees warmer than what we had this afternoon with those sunny skies. Make sure you got that sunscreen if you do have some plans to be outside for an extended period this weekend. 83 in Lafayette, 82 in Columbus, and 80 degrees even in Muncie. On Sunday, the change we'll notice a little more humidity in the air. It's still not going to be tropical or oppressive out there. And we'll also have those clouds building back in with a high temperature of 83. But on Sunday, I think that we're going to keep those rain chances off to the north and west. We continue through time here as we go into Monday with TrueCast. This is into the morning hours, trying to bring in some scattered showers and storms to start off the day. We'll keep a close eye on that. I don't think it's going to be ruling the day for us, though, if it does move in. We're still going to see some very warm temperatures here. Monday and Tuesday, we're back into the middle 80s, still lower to middle 80s for us on Wednesday. Lots to talk about. Let's put that 7-day planning forecast together for you. Increasing clouds on Sunday, 85 the high on Monday. We'll keep it in the middle 80s there on Tuesday with just a 20% chance of a shower or thunderstorm. As we get into Wednesday and Thursday, a little better chance for some of that rain. A system's going to swing through here, and that's going to drop those temperatures, a very fall feel to end the week. Stay with us. There's more on the news at 7 right after this.
We want to remind you that WRTV is raising money right now to ensure kids in low-income households have books of their very own. We are asking you to donate to our If You Give a Child a Book campaign. Donations will be accepted through September 11th. Just go to WRTV.com/giveabook for details on how to donate. This is something businesses in Speedway can relate to. Tomorrow, the Kentucky Derby will be run at Churchill Downs without fans in attendance, just like the Indy 500. And that means no money for some Louisville businesses. The businesses that rely on Derby dollars are not doing well. One such shop is Griffin Derby Hats. Customized Derby hats are legendary. The hat shop owner says without the Derby, there's no business. Many store owners are already taking a big hit between the pandemic and unrest in the city over the death of Breonna Taylor.
I moved to Kentucky for the Kentucky Derby for making hats for it. Since March, I haven't made a dime on the hat shop, which is like really hard. I haven't gotten any inquiries yet for Derby specific hats. I think everyone's just waiting, on pins and needles.
The hat shop has already moved and is sharing a space with another business. Olivia Griffin has also started hat workshops and after-school sewing programs to keep afloat. Burger King is cooking up a new look for its restaurants. The burger chain says it started working on the plans years ago, but the pandemic motivated the company to speed them up. The new look at locations will include multiple drive-through lanes, order lockers, curbside pickup, and even solar-powered canopies. The first one should be up and running sometime next year. Fans of the Godfather movies who walked away disappointed from Part 3 will soon get a new version. Director Francis Ford Coppola announced plans to release a newly edited version in December. It will help celebrate the film's 30th anniversary. Coppola says the redone film will include a new beginning, a new end, and possibly even a new title. Coppola says he spent 6 months going through 300 cartons of film negatives to find the scenes he wanted to use.
Sounds like an overhaul there, but we don't need to overhaul the weekend forecast. It's looking pretty good here. Sunshine tomorrow. Those temperatures getting back into the 80s.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 11.